everyone, it's Jade here. Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we're going to be carrying on with our colour along in Luna by Maria Trolle. So I'm going to start off by adding in some highlights to the lizards that we've already done. So I'm going to be using a Signo Uniball white gel pen. So I've heard these are quite good, so I thought we'd give it a try and see what it's like. So I'll go ahead and zoom you in and we'll get started. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is sort of go around where the water is breaking on the lizard, just to make it look a little bit more like there's water there. So I think we'll try it on his back first, and I'm just going to sort of go around where we left our shadow and just outline a little bit more visible of a watermark. And it doesn't have to be perfectly straight because water never is perfectly straight. And then we'll do the same for the little bit on his tail as well. So I'm just going to add a little circle in around here. And then his little foot is breaking out of the water. So I'm going to add a little highlight to either side of his foot. And then I'm going to do the same here along this edge where we added the water breaking on his head. And I'm going to take it all the way around the edge of his little face. Okay, and I'm going to do the same for our purple one. So I'll start off outlining where the water's breaking on his head. And just run this all along his little face. And then here where his arm's out the water, and again over here. And then we'll do a little bit of a water break there and here on his tail. And then I'm going to go around the water breaking on his back. Okay, so that just makes that stand out a little bit more. I might go over it with a little bit of a blue tone when it's dry, just so that it's not quite as bright white. But I think we'll move on to this flower next. So first, going in with sapphire yellow, I'm going to make a start on the middle pieces. So again, I'm just going to use light pressure and add a base coat down to all of these little, I'm not actually sure what they're called, but the centerpieces of the lilies. Then going in with pumpkin orange, I'm going to go ahead and darken up the very bottom sections of each of these little pieces, just to add a little bit of shade. And anywhere they're slightly underneath, I'm going to add a bit of shade to them too. And then taking lemon yellow, I'm going to go ahead and use normal pressure this time and fill in each of these little pieces and go over the orange as well, just so that everything blends together nicely. Next, taking pink macaroon, we're going to make a start on the petals. So I'm going to go ahead and use light pressure and add a base coat down to each of these petals. Okay, so next going in with Fruit Punch, we're going to make a start on the first set of petals. So what I'm going to do is just use a bit more pressure down here by the center, and then lift the pressure as you come towards the middle of each petal. And I'm going to do this for all of these petals on the top row here. Then going in with Peony Pink, I'm going to go over where we left the lighter pressure in the middle and take it right up towards the tip, but just leave a very light patch right at the top of each petal. So I'll go ahead and do this for all of this top row. Then going back in with our white pencil, I'm just going to go ahead and blend the very tip down into the rest of the petal. So I'll just use normal pressure and just sort of go up and down and move the colour around a little bit. Then taking Eggplant Purple, I'm going to go ahead and add in our little line details to the petals. So just light pressure and go over these. Okay, so now going in with Plum Purple, which is a little bit darker, I'm going to start to darken up these leaves, these petals, sorry, that are underneath. So I'm going to use normal pressure right down the bottom and then lift the pressure off as we come towards the tips. And I'll do this for this row as well. So just right up against the edge with normal pressure and then lift off as you come towards the middle. And then going in with Fruit Punch, I'm going to go over the middle bit with normal pressure. And then just lift off the pressure at the very tip of each petal. And I'll go ahead and do the same for all of these petals that we've just done. And then going back in with our white pencil, I'm going to do the same again and just blend the tip down into the petals. So again, just normal pressure for this. And then for the bottom leaves, I'm going to go in with magenta because I want these bottom ones to be the darkest. So again, I'm going to use normal pressure right up against the bottom of these petals. And then straight away, I'm going to lift the pressure off just so that it's not quite as dark as it comes away. So just add a little bit more pressure to get rid of your blend line, and then really light pressure to fill in to about halfway on each petal. And we'll do the same for the rest of the petals. Then going back in with Fruit Punch, I'm going to use this to go over the magenta and give it a little bit more of a pink tone. So I'll just use normal pressure for that. And then I'm going to take this colour a little bit further up again and leave a light bit at the very tip of each petal. So I'll do the same for all of the ones where we've just added the magenta. And then going back in with our white pencil, I'm just going to go ahead and blend in the very tips. Again, just using normal pressure. Okay, so going back in with magenta, I'm going to add in our little detailed lines into the petals because this is a little bit darker, so it should show up a bit better on the darker leaves. So I'll go ahead and do that for these two sections of leaves that we've just done, or petals. I keep calling them leaves. Okay guys, and that's our last flower done. So the only thing we've got left to do now is some of the water. So I think we'll start around the outside edge because that's going to be the darkest parts. So I'm going to go in with sky blue and add a base coat down. Okay, so up here I think is going to be a little bit darker because it's right by the edge. So I'm just going to use light pressure and add a base coat of this colour into the section. And I'm going to take it over the bubbles as well. And then for this section here, we'll go ahead and give this a base coat too. And in here. And we'll do the same for this section here because this is further back as well. So I'm going to do this bit a little bit darker to match the other side. So it doesn't have to be perfect when you're doing a base coat, it's just about putting some colour down on the actual paper. And we'll do this one the same. And in here. And in this section too. And then we've just got these bottom sections, so I'll do a light base coat in all of these. Then taking Sapphire Blue, which is the colour that we've been using to add some shade, I'm going to use normal pressure and take this around the edges of these sections, so all the way around, anywhere where there's some vines and petals, we're going to add a shadow in. So I'll just use normal pressure right up against the objects or the petals and vines, and then I will lift the pressure off and just start to bring the colour forward a little bit more. I'll do the same in here. It's quite a small section, so it's probably going to end up being filled in. And I'll do the same here, so I'll go around the edges. And then again, lift the pressure off to bring the colour forwards and to blend it out. And I'll do the same in here. Then going in with indigo, which is our darkest colour, I'm going to use normal pressure again, but just run this right up against the very edges of the vines and the petals, just to really darken up that shadow. And then going back in with sky blue, I'm just going to use normal pressure now and go ahead and fill this all in and mix everything together. And then I'm going to go back in with sapphire blue and just go ahead and use light pressure, but work on the blend lines because it's looking a little bit harsh. So I'll just use light pressure, but just add a little bit more of this colour just around the edges, just to blend out that indigo. And then going in with periwinkle blue, I'm going to go ahead and take this over all the blends and just add a little bit more of a darker tone over the sky blue. So just normal pressure now and just go over where we added the sky blue. Okay, so that's that bottom section done. So I'm going to do the same for this side section here. So this time I'm going to go in with indigo first, and I'm going to go ahead and add in our darkest shadow. So just normal pressure right up against all the different objects that we want to shade. So the lily pads and the vines. And then I'm just going to lift the pressure and just blend out that line ever so slightly. And I'll do the same up here. And then again, just slightly lift the pressure off to blend this out. Then going back in with Sapphire Blue, I'm going to take it over where we left the lighter pressure of the indigo and just use normal pressure to blend that all together. And then again, just lift the pressure as you come further towards the middle. And I've already done these sections, but I didn't realise I wasn't filming. So I'll go ahead and do this one. So just normal pressure over the indigo. And then again, just start to lift the pressure as you come away from that so that it blends out nicely. So next, going in with Sky Blue, I'm going to go ahead and just use normal pressure now and fill in the middle sections and take it over the darker shadows as well. And I'll do the same for all of these. Okay, so next, going in with indigo, I'm going to make a start on these sections here. And for this one here, I'm just going to fill it in completely with the indigo because that's going to be quite dark there and in shadow from everything else. So just normal pressure, fill that in. And then for this section here, I'm going to run it along the edges using normal pressure and then lift off the pressure to blend it out. And I'll go ahead and do the same for this section here. And we'll do the same along here. And we'll go ahead and do the same in this little section here. And then lift the pressure. And then I'm going to take it all the way around to the edge of this vine. And then again, just lift the pressure off to blend this out. And we'll do the same down here. Then going back in with Sapphire Blue, I'm going to go ahead and use normal pressure and fill in this tiny little bit here because it's quite small. And I'll do the same for these two sections up here. So we've got this little one and this little one. So just normal pressure, fill them in. Then for the bigger section, I'm going to use normal pressure, take it over where we left the lighter pressure of the indigo blue. And then lift the pressure to blend this out. And I'll do the same for these two sections here. Then going back in with Sky Blue, I'm going to use normal pressure and fill this in. Take it over our shadows as well. Then taking Periwinkle Blue, I'm going to go ahead and use this colour to fill in this section here right up next to the lizard and go over our shadow. So I'll just use normal pressure here, fill this bit in. Okay, and then what I want to do is try and add a little bit of blue colour onto this white Posca. So I'm just using really light pressure and just adding a little bit of a blue tint. Yeah, it's actually scratching it off in some places, so you need to use very light pressure. Just to see if we can add a little bit of a blue tint to this. Don't know if it's going to work. But hopefully it'll just take. No, it's just ripping the pen off in places. It does look a little bit bluer though. I'm going to carry on. Then I'm just going to take Sky Blue and just fill in these bubbles here. And I'm going to use Sky Blue to fill in these bubbles as well. Okay, so next going in with our white gel pen, I'm going to go over these little bubbles and just outline them, make them stand out a little bit better. Okay guys, and that's this little page completed. So I hope you like the final result and I hope you've enjoyed the colour along. If you did, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and I'll see you guys in the next video.